She discovered the pearl in a tide pool on her 32nd birthday, its surface swirling with impossible colors like oil on water. She'd come to the beach alone, as always, fleeing her cramped studio apartment where the radiator clanged through sleepless nights and her neighbors argued through paper-thin walls. The pearl seemed to pulse with warmth, as if it had been waiting for her specifically. When she whispered her wish for her apartment to become a mansion, the pearl grew warm in her palm. The next morning, she woke in a sprawling estate. 40 rooms, maybe 50. She wandered through galleries and ballrooms, her footsteps echoing off vaulted ceilings. A library held thousands of books she'd never read. By evening, the silence pressed against Marina's ears like deep water. She called friends to visit, but they made excuses, intimidated by the iron gates and marble columns. Even the cleaning staff whispered around her, as if she were made of glass. After a week of rattling around alone, Marina clutched the pearl again. "I want to be admired by everyone." At the coffee shop, strangers stared. Conversations stopped when she entered rooms. People hung on her words, laughed too hard at her jokes. But their eyes felt hollow, their smiles painted on. No one contradicted her anymore. No one teased her or challenged her or told her when she was being ridiculous. Her best friend Sarah, who used to argue passionately about everything from movies to politics, now agreed with everything Marina said, nodding like a puppet with cut strings. Marina realized she couldn't remember the last time someone had truly seen her, flaws and all. "I want to never feel pain," she told the pearl, her voice breaking. The world softened. Stubbed toes brought no sting. Harsh words bounced off her like rain off glass. When she accidentally cut her finger chopping vegetables, she watched the blood with detached curiosity, feeling nothing. But at her grandmother's funeral, she stood dry-eyed while others wept, unable to access the grief she knew she should feel. She felt nothing, not sadness, not loss, not the bittersweet ache of memory. When her sister shared news of her engagement, Marina's congratulations rang hollow in her own ears. Joy had dulled along with sorrow, leaving only a gray numbness that stretched on forever. Desperate now, she wished for endless time. Time to fix everything, to find the combination of wishes that would finally make her happy. The pearl blazed hot against her skin. Days stretched like taffy. Marina had centuries now, all the time in the world, but the mansion felt larger each morning. The admirers faded into the background, their hollow gazes meaningless. Seasons changed outside her windows, but she barely noticed. She couldn't mourn what she'd lost, or celebrate what might come. The future was infinite and empty as a desert. Years later, or was it decades, she returned to the tide pool where she'd found the pearl, her hands shaking. The water reflected her face, unlined, beautiful, admired, untouched by pain or time. Empty. Marina threw the pearl back into the sea. The mansion dissolved like sugar in rain. The stairs faded. Pain crept back into her joints, sweet and sharp and real. Time snapped back to its normal pace, each moment suddenly precious, because it would end. She walked to her cramped studio apartment, climbed the creaking stairs, and knocked on her neighbor's door. The one who argued too loudly, who she'd always avoided. "Want to complain about the radiator over coffee?" she asked. Her neighbor grinned. "Thought you'd never ask." In her small kitchen, drinking cheap coffee from chipped mugs, arguing about nothing important while the radiator clanged its familiar song, Marina felt wealthy beyond measure. The coffee burned her tongue slightly. She smiled at the small pain. Sarah called and disagreed with her about a movie, their voices rising in playful argument. It was the most beautiful sound she'd ever heard.